Hello again, everybody, and welcome back to our community. I'm Andy Thornton, President and CEO of the Greater Peoria YMCA. We're excited to have you with us today as we dig into the subject matter of streamlining our lives. In a world obsessed with doing more, true success comes from doing less intentionally. In this episode, we explore how streamlining your life, business, and mindset can unlock greater clarity, productivity, and peace. From decluttering routines to aligning with your values, simplicity isn't about cutting corners. It's about cutting through the noise. Discover how letting go of what no longer serves you can multiply your results and help you thrive with purpose and focus. Joining me on this episode is Matt George.
How you doing?
Good friend.
Yeah.
Longtime CEO here in the Peoria area.
Does that mean old?
Yeah, maybe. Maybe. Depends on your perspective,
right?
But you're also executive leadership coach at Harvard Business School.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, it's exciting.
Yeah, that's a big change for you.
Yeah, it is and it isn't.
Yeah.
I mean, it's some of the same business stuff, right? You're talking about coaching, and as a CEO,
True.
you coach.
Yeah, true.
And how many questions a day are you asked as a CEO? And I think it's navigating through those waters and being able to problem solve as a CEO is huge. And that's what coaching is to be able to listen, figure out what the problems are, the pain points are, and then be able to extract those pain points and then come up with solutions of what those pain points are.
Yeah.
Tie it to your strategy.
Yeah.
Tie it to whatever your goal is.
No, that's good.
Yeah.
That's good. And I appreciate that correlation. It's an interesting subject matter of streamlining. As I was preparing for the show and knew you were coming to join me in this conversation, I figured you'd probably have a lot of insight here. You've gone through a lot, and you've been in a leadership role for a long time. And you've been really successful in a lot of different avenues in your life. So I figured this would be a good subject matter to dig into with you. So I appreciate you being here.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Successful and failed.
Well, sure.
And
we don't succeed without failure.
That's right. And I think that's where this word is great.
Yeah.
Streamline.
Yeah. So before we dig in, let's just level set definition of streamline, make things more efficient and effective by employing faster or simpler working methods.
Mm-hmm.
Sounds easy, but it's really not, I don't think. But it is critically important. You know, and I think we live in a world that describe a world culture where more seems like it's better, right? We consume so much stuff, especially if we get lost in social media. It gets easy to do that. But really, streamlining is the opposite of that, right? It's about removing a lot of those things that are distractions, that clutter our lives, that don't allow us to be successful. And so talk to me a little bit about an example maybe in your leadership experience, habits, routines, things that you held on to maybe longer than you should have that caused challenges for you in being successful.
I think where I went from probably a okay CEO to a good CEO is when I streamlined my personal life.
What did that look like?
It's managing your time.
Yeah.
But I think more than managing your time, it's accessibility. I look back and I think I made myself early on for many years too accessible.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying it was a bad thing because I learned from it, but it took away from really the core of what was really important to me was, you know, my wife and my kids, my family, my free time, my hobbies, my reading, my studying, everything. And so I think time and managing your time is hugely important. And then being able to take that time and actually integrating it into the rest of your life.
Yeah.
And that's where it's hard.
Yeah.
Because if you're a grinder like you are constantly, right? And if you're going boom, 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 it's very hard to actually take a step back sometime.
Yeah.
So for me, I had to streamline my personal life, and that included looking at not just, I don't even call them habits, I call them bad habits. Everything that I was doing and still am doing wrong. Like, so there is a time now at my age now that, and it's probably been the last 5 to 7 years, I get up at 5:40 a.m. on the dot every day.
Yep.
And I start my day. I have my routine. I have my green tea. I walk around. I get moving. I go check my emails before the kids get up. I do all my different things. I have a set routine. Right. That's buying back my own time. Yeah. And I think that's what streamlining for me is. It's very important to me.
Yeah. Accessibility that's a difficult one, right? In a leadership role, in my life, right, my professional life, there's a lot of opportunity to engage with others.
Yeah.
And it becomes a challenge sometimes of how you balance that out, because as a leader of a community organization, I need to be involved, right? I need to be involved in different conversations or different events and things like that, because I'm the leader of an organization. I need that organization to be relevant, but it also takes away from some of the things that are important that I need to do too, right? From a work perspective.
Yeah, I think organization comes into play here. I love the word cadence. I would have a set cadence of what I wanted to do all the time. I'm a note taker. I am a document guy. I have, even today, I had my list of everything, all my calls, everything I need to do for the day, and then my hit list. I had 23 things on the list today.
Wow.
And I've gotten through so far about 10, and I need to go through. I'm organized. And when I'm organized, my body's at peace, which means I can think a little clearer. Yeah. And I think that's to me what Streamline means. Streamline is not having your desk cleaned off. It's not sitting here and making sure the strategy's integrated or implemented the right way with the board and all that. Those are examples of business streamlines. But if you as a leader, if you're not taking care of yourself and organizing yourself, then you will not be a good leader. I can guarantee it.
Right, and that's going to be projected on those that you lead.
I mean, I've probably seen and been around 500 to 600 high-end leaders, and I can tell within 1 hour of conversation whether that person's going to be a long-term success or not by the way they handle themselves.
What are some of the things that speak to you in that experience?
Inner calm.
Okay.
Control. I'm not saying you have to be a certain your religious beliefs or your beliefs, but if you're grounded, you're faith-based, you're solid, confident. I was talking to Kim earlier. We're talking about it's not arrogance, but there's a little ego involved, confidence. Yeah. But it's also being able to check that ego piece at the door. Like I know how strong I am.
Sure.
But I also know how weak I am.
Yeah. So, nobody knows you better than you.
Yeah, right. But what's weird about it is a lot of times those are our downfalls. Yeah. And I think that's where leaders make huge mistakes, especially internally with their team. The number one job of a CEO is culture. You and I have had that conversation before. Right. Well, isn't culture part of streamlining the efficiencies of your team
the organization,
and your organization to align with the strategies or whatever the goals are, mission in your case?
Yeah. That's interesting to think about. I think it's really important point that you make there is, as a leader, if I'm not streamlined, right, or efficient in how I do my work, that's going to impact those that are following me, right, or who I'm leading.
That's right.
In the organization's success.
Take you as a dad.
Mm-hmm.
When you're frantic, you're not in a good parenting space. It's no different than you're a CEO.
Yeah.
And I use CEO a lot, but it's any leader. It could be any position.
Mm-hmm.
If you're in a leadership position and you can control yourself,
mm-hmm.
you have a much bigger chance of success than not.
Yeah, I agree with that. People feed off of that energy, whether it's good or bad.
That's right.
Yeah, it happens a lot. So, over time, I think as individuals, as leaders, we develop habits.
Yeah.
Right. Some of those habits are good. Some of those habits are bad. Those bad habits create distraction. Right. They create clutter for us. How do you recognize something in your life that is causing friction or distraction for you, and then how do you go about separating yourself from that?
I think the biggest thing is, you hear this all the time about who you hang out with or surrounding yourself with good people.
Circle of influence,
but it goes a step further than that. It's actually somebody, and we've had these conversations. This is what I love about this word. We've had the conversations where sometimes I'll say something very bluntly and you'll say something back to me that may not feel good, but we have such an understanding and respect for each other that I need to be told that.
Sure.
That's ego. Mm-hmm. Put myself back into check.
Mm-hmm.
And if I listen, so I'll give you a good example. So I was coaching somebody, and this was it was a big company, Fortune 50, very high up. And she said to me, Matt, you have talked way too much this session. And I reflected on it, and I looked back, and she was 100% correct.
Yeah.
And the next time we had a conversation, I was on target and a lot better. If she doesn't say anything to me, I'm still developing a bad habit or increasing my chances.
You may not realize it yourself.
I don't realize it. So like even when you do a podcast or when you go on, it doesn't matter what it is, a board meeting. Mm-hmm. I never had a problem with a board member telling me, Matt, I don't know if I would have said that.
Right.
Or, Matt, have you thought of this? And I would solicit feedback too. Right. Because the older I got, it's not that I didn't care what they said to me. Nothing ever hurt my feelings, I don't think. It's not that I didn't there's some things that are a little stronger than others, but if you can take it and dissect it and then actually go to someone like me and you and take that feedback and then talk about it, maybe we both learn. Yeah. So it's being able to understand that even the highest CEOs, the highest leaders, they all need coaches. Yeah. They all need coaches.
And you need to be open to the coaching.
Mentorship. You need to be open to it.
Right. You need to be open to it. The constructive criticism, the feedback, leaning into that. Yeah. So that because it's a learning opportunity.
If I rolled my eyes at 50% that was said in a boardroom, I wouldn't be a CEO very long.
No.
Right? No, but people do it.
It's true.
If you watch a lot of times, especially political events and things like that, but I'm talking even city council meetings and things, people are sitting there and they'll roll their eyes, their head will go back.
Yeah, body language. Yeah.
Body language is part of that good habit of checking yourself.
Yeah.
So over the years, I've become better at checking myself.
That's good.
And understanding where I am and who I am. And not everybody agrees. I don't need everybody to agree either. I just have my own opinions.
No, and the respect that comes from behaving that way too, I think is pretty powerful, right? When you carry yourself with that type of respect for others, it comes back to you in that way too. So it's a culture thing. I think as a leader is when you behave that way, others are going to kind of fall in line with that. Or if you're on the other side of it and you are poor body language, roll your eyes when you don't agree with something.
Yeah.
That does the same thing.
Right.
And that carries forward in the organization, right? The people that you lead, they see that way, they behave that way because they think it's okay.
Yeah. And what are they going to do? They're going to copy you.
Yeah.
Or they're going to, I talk about all the time when, if you were walking around the Y and you were constantly looking at your phone or you're constantly texting.
Sure.
You're not giving all of your team, all of the members, everybody the time of day.
Right.
You're not a leader.
No.
And why would I even want to talk to you? So next time I'm walking by you and your perception of me is that I may be arrogant, but really you triggered it.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of things that are domino effects of how you are as a leader. And so this is why this word is so crucial.
Yeah. So, but I was thinking about this word in preparation, and I think there's a lot of tools out there today that can help us in Streamline. I think about AI. AI is a place that I'm starting to lean into a little bit more and try to utilize to help me become more efficient, a little more streamlined in how I do my work. And so I'm curious, are there any tools that you're using that others might be able to benefit from and learn from on how you approach streamlining your personal life, your professional life, and keeping what matters most the focus?
Yeah, I have 3 dashboards, and these aren't dashboards that come up on my computer screen. They were when I was a CEO, but they're not now. I write down my dashboards now, and I have goals. I keep journals still. I like doing things old school, but it makes me, when I write something down, it makes me think about it more instead of turning on a computer and actually having it pop up.
Okay.
And it's always right in front of me. But I have a business set of we'll call them indicators, maybe goals. I have a personal set of goals, and then I have a family.
Okay.
And family and my faith fall into that bucket. Personal would include my habits, bad habits, my reading. I study a lot. I study a lot more now than I ever have.
Really?
I read probably more than most, and because I don't want to lose an edge.
Yeah.
If somebody comes to you for information, you have a choice. You can either retire and go do whatever you want to do and play golf, and that's your deal, and you're just done. Or you can still have people come to you for information because you become a source. But it's not a resource, so to speak, for ego. It's a resource to grow people. And I think as a CEO, our jobs for the rest of our lives, whether it's our own kids or teammates, whatever it may be, is you want them to grow.
Yeah. What's one change that you've made in your business or leadership approach that significantly streamlined your operations?
The biggest change was just understanding how much time I was giving, and it was my fault. It's not that somebody didn't deserve the time.
Right.
It's how much I talked. A 5-minute conversation, I'd take it 15. That's wasting time. It's wasting my time and their time.
Sure.
I had several mentors tell me that. And Debbie Simon, who Debbie, was a mentor of mine and former CEO of Unity Point and Methodist. And, she was real strict on her time. And, some of her meetings were 15 minutes, 30 minutes. I remember her assistant would come in and say, it's basically your next is here. It's over.
Yeah.
And she was very efficient. And I learned from her.
Okay.
And I sat there and I just absorbed. And so when you have a chance to be around a strong, in this case, a strong female leader, where I've had strong male mentors, it doesn't really matter as long as someone's giving themselves to you.
So when you recognized that change that needed to be made in managing your time, valuing your time. How did you see it impact your team? Did you see that adjustment being made throughout the organization as you kind of led through your own example?
I think there's, culture is interesting.
Mm-hmm.
So the more teammates you have, the harder it is to establish culture, I think, because it's not, I've heard this before, and someone was saying, it's like you want everybody to fall in line. No, you don't. Right. It's not falling in line, but it's establishing a psych safety mentality where you have a place of work where it's safe.
Right.
And I'm not talking safety of violence and all that and everything. Right. I'm talking about, I can't wait to come to work. I can't wait to be with my team.
Right.
I can't wait to talk in a positive manner.
Right.
I can't wait to take a mission and charge it forward and actually make substantial change. Right. If we can get teammates to fall in line, well, think about this. By me shortening up my mouth, which I needed to shut it up, it allowed me to be able to mentor more people.
Yeah, listen more, give other people an opportunity.
Listening more is what everybody will say, because I think everybody needs to listen more. But I think that if you really think about it, that's obvious, right?
Yeah.
Everybody just needs to be quiet sometimes.
Yeah.
And I think it's hard.
Yeah, it is hard. Silence is hard. It really is. Nobody likes to sit in silence. I don't like to sit in silence that often. Always like to fill that void, especially if I'm in a room with other people, right? It's just, it's awkward. But it's important. I do agree with you. And it is also important to listen well and make sure others feel that you're listening to them, right? As the leader, you're not always directing. That's a challenge too.
Experience helps with that.
Yeah, it does. It's something that I think you develop over time, but you have to be aware, like you said before, that somebody told you that at one point, right? That, hey, you're talking too much.
Like I'll give you an example of streamlining for me. I had a great board, but there were some disconnects here and there on communication. I realized it was probably on me to be able to fix that, not them. So I decided to go to 10 key board members and sit down with them, ask them all the same questions. Basically, how can I be a help to you? Here's how I think you can help the children's home. What other talents can you bring? Can you think about down the line who a replacement could be for you? I had all these questions. I streamlined the process. So the safety of that board member now, I developed a relationship. That's culture. So that was board culture.
Right.
That's streamlining.
Yeah, that's good. So you talked earlier about having your professional life, your business life, your family, your personal life, 3 kind of different dashboards, 3 measurements for that. What efforts have you made in streamlining your personal life, right, so that you can still be impactful in your professional life, right, without sacrificing family? That's not what I'm talking about.
Right.
It's about being more efficient with the time that you have with your family, so you feel like you're freed up to go do what you got to do professionally.
Yeah. I'll give you an example. About 2 months ago, I sat down with a mentor, and I didn't think it was going to be 2 hours. And I was going through something that I needed help with, and it was personal. And I just spilled. And they let me talk for an hour.
Wow.
And that person listened, and then in a blunt way, gave me their thoughts, and I took it and I made change. And that's powerful.
Yeah.
Like, I have chills talking about it because I allowed it, and that person gave it me their themselves.
So you obviously had somebody that you were comfortable with sharing some personal.
Yeah, and I have mentors. I still have mentors. I'll tell you another one. I just hired. I don't have the personal budget for this, but I knew if I didn't take a step that seemed a little pushy to me, that it wouldn't work. Is I hired a health coach.
Oh wow!
And so through my networks, I found somebody, and this health coach is talking me through better eating. My kids play sports, and you know how that is. You sit there, there's a concession stand, there's places to eat afterwards that are all fast food. And I got into the bad habit, and now it's hard to break. So I said, you know what? I'm getting older. My joints hurt. I need to start taking better care of myself. So I started playing tennis again. And I started doing some things that I haven't done in a long time. And that's hard.
And that's something that you could do along with the family, right?
My daughter.
You can engage your family in that process, which allows you some of that freedom to focus on the professional side of things.
I love it.
So there was a part in Kim's article this week where she wrote about kind of the approach to streamlining. There was 4 components to it. The first one is to assess, where are you? Where's the clutter? Identify the areas where you have an opportunity to be efficient. And you got to eliminate, remove those things that are holding you back. Automate or delegate, right? Tools to simplify, and then evaluate. So when you hear those 4 components, which one do you think is the most important?
There's only one. It's assess.
Okay. So you got to start.
That is coaching. If you don't take that step, if I don't even know what I'm dealing with, or if I'm lying to myself, which people do.
Sure they do.
Whether it's drinking or gambling or overeating or whatever it is. It could be any vice, right? It could be sleeping in, not exercising, all of those things. If you don't assess or have someone help you assess, then the rest of it's irrelevant. And that's business coaching. I mean, I'm talking high level coaching is assessing.
Oh, I agree. I agree with you. None of it happens if you don't take the time to assess.
Right.
I agree. But I think I would say the second most important would be the evaluation.
There's no doubt. I was going to say that.
Because it's not just going to happen once, right? It's something you need to regularly evaluate, modify, make changes, because we change, right? We get older. You just talked about it. You get older, health becomes more of a concern for us. And so you got to constantly evaluate those things in order for us, I think, to stay in that mindset of success.
I use the word audit.
Okay, there you go.
Business, you audit it. If I'm not hitting, if my head of HR, if I had 15 indicators for her and she's not hitting, 70% of those indicators, I'm auditing her process. I'm auditing the outputs, all of those things, right? What's the difference between that and auditing what goes in your system, what you're doing personally? It's the same thing. So I love the evaluate for personal, audit for business.
And really, it's the same thing.
Same thing.
Right. But I appreciate where you're coming from with that. And it's important to do. Okay, the last piece I want to dig into a little bit with you is kind of the spiritual side of all of this. If there's plenty of scripture in there that talks to us about being disciplined, right, and being, we'll say, streamlining, and I think it's important for us to think about that and to be mindful of that. Of how can our faith impact our ability to be more streamlined in that effort. And there's distractions that come, I think, even with spirituality that can kind of hold us back a little bit. Is there anything in your life that you care to share about how you've embraced spirituality and how you've allowed that to help propel you to be successful?
Yeah, I mean, one of my mentors, I'm proud to say, is John Maxwell.
Yeah.
And John Maxwell has written 88 books, all number one, and he's a pastor. He's a spiritual leader, and he's written 87 books on leadership. And a year ago, I gave you a book. It was called High Road Leadership. And there's a difference between high road leadership and low road leadership. And the high road leader doesn't always succeed, but always attempts. And I think if you go into leadership knowing that you're doing your best, knowing that you're going to fail, I think it's one thing from a spiritual standpoint. I think there's themes all the time throughout scriptures and everything you read about failure. I don't think I will say this, I don't like failing, but I've never been afraid to fail. Like I went on a nationwide 67 city book tour back at the end of 2023.
I remember that.
I failed in 20 of them.
Wow.
Went on to the next one. And I had my ups and downs. And so you have to be resilient. You have to check your ego. You have to streamline your whole process. You have to reevaluate. You have to have grit. You have to self-control. And it doesn't always work, but you have to be able to accept it. So that's my long answer to that is, I guess this is a plug for the book, is High Road Leadership, because High Road Leadership is a book on culture. And streamlining and culture really kind of go hand in hand.
I think that's good stuff. And it's important, high road leadership. What I'm hearing you say is the difference between high road and low road is care for people right along the way.
Yeah, it's servant leadership.
Serve people, love people, right? And when you lead with that mindset and that compassion, people follow that. The opposite of that is pretty hard. Pretty hardcore, right? In the way that you treat people, being the opposite of a servant leader. And I think that that's really important for us to approach it that way and think about what's the legacy of our leadership. And, we're called as Christians to serve, to love people, to encourage people in that way. And I think it's an important role as a leader to lean into that.
And to realize and to accept that you not only will and can make mistakes, but some of them are big. I think being able to make a decision, whether it's not necessarily the right one, is still leadership.
It is.
And that goes as a parent, as a CEO, as a COO, CHRO, you name it. Doesn't matter. So
I think one of the best things that we can do as leaders, Matt, is, to your point of, sometimes you have to make a decision. You don't know if it's going to work, but you got to have the confidence to make it and to understand that whether it works or not, your response to that outcome is what people are looking for. Right. Because it's okay to fail. I tell my people all the time at the Y, and it takes a while for some people to, I think, embrace this, but failure is a part of success, and it's okay to make a mistake, right? The important thing is how are you going to react to that loss, that failure, that mistake that may have been made, and how are you going to get better because of it? That's the important part of life, is failing forward. You've heard the term, it's used all the time. And when we mess up, we have to own that, we have to learn from that mistake, and then we have to alter our course and kind of fix whatever that failure is. But that's an important part for me as a leader, is to understand that it's okay. And the people that I work with need to know that it's okay.
And to put a little humor behind it, it better be okay, because we fail a lot.
Every single day. This has been great. Thanks for joining me.
I appreciate it.
All right. Well, thank you for joining us on this time on Our Community. We look forward to seeing you next time.